Hey there guys, so today we have another Battle Beers, and this is, I've specifically decided to do this because Ruination 2.0 has come out. If you don't already know, Ruination, the original recipe has retired. They've decided to hop the beer differently now, and it's called Ruination 2.0, or I don't know if they'll probably just call it Ruination from now on. But this just arrived, and along with it, Lagunitas Sucks just arrived in a 6-pack, so I thought it'd be appropriate to compare two West Coast double IPAs, two of the most famous West Coast double IPAs, I guess, along with Pliny the Elder and Joy By. So anyway, these two are mixed up. If you don't already know, let me go through the hops in Ruination 2.0. They're using Centennial, Citra, Simcoe, and Azacca. So I believe previously it was very much heavily hopped with Centennial, an older American C hop. Now they're using Citra and I guess Citra and Azacca are the newer hops, and hopefully that will be more acceptable for the newer palates and what newer palates want in hoppy beers. Sucks has remained the same, though it's not the oldest beer. Sucks is using Chinook, Simcoe, Apollo, Summit, Nugget, and HBC 324. A pretty interesting hop bill. Yeah, so let's again, these are mixed up. They're actually really similar color if you want to see. Yeah, I can't actually tell which one's which. So yeah, they're mixed up already. Let's get into this one. Okay, yeah, this one smells pretty bready and quite dank. I'm getting a good amount of piney quality, a little bit of grapefruit, a touch of that onion garlicky kind of thing. So I want to say it's maybe the Ruination already. It's a familiar aroma that I get in Enjoy By. Yeah, it has this kind of, again, like slicing into onion or garlic. It just smacks your nose, that kind of aroma. Definitely not as explosive in Enjoy By. Enjoy By really shines with an amazing aroma. This doesn't have that. But yeah, pretty dang. Cheers. Quite nice. Up front, I'm getting a good amount of orange peel, nice kind of candy sweetness, candy grapefruit peel. Yeah, good amount of sugary kind of sugar put on orange zest, grapefruit zest kind of flavor. A nice bready malt in the middle, and then heavy bitterness on the back end. Resinous, pine. Lingers on your tongue. You sort of want to scratch at your tongue because it is a very bitter beer. But the malt isn't too heavy, nor is the sugary sweetness. Pretty drinkable for a double IPA. Good example of the West Coast style. Yeah. A little bit of fruit, good amount of dank quality as well. Lots of pine and resin on the back end. Nice, well done malt bill. But it is very bitter on the back end. Wow, that is bitter. Let's dig into this one. Oh, wow. It's much more fruity. It smells like peach rings. Interesting. Very peachy. Smells like peach candy. A lot of candy kind of aroma. Almost a little bit of kind of confectioner sugar. A dessert that has peaches, like cooked peaches and peach candy and confectioner sugar. A little bit of orange. Just really bursts of orange zest and lots of sweetness going on. Candied sweetness, again, peachiness. Yeah, I'm drinking that huge note. Cheers. Much lighter beer on the palate. If anything, it almost tastes watery compared to this one. I want to assume it's the Sucks because of that peachiness. Peachiness follows on the palate pretty well. It does taste like peach candy, almost like gummy bears. There you go. So yeah, pears and peaches, like pear and peach gummy bears, sort of have this kind of flavor. It's really candy-like, an artificially candied flavor, fruit flavor. Again, not too much of the substantial malt bill here. This beer drinks really nice and clean for a double IPA, whereas this doesn't have that kind of complete double IPA West Coast mouthfeel. It sort of just glides away. Drinks actually towards a single IPA because of that. Yeah, really wonderful peachy kind of flavors. I'm getting on the back end some more dankness though. Big kind of like resinous dank kind of quality. A little bit of pine. This one's probably more aggressive on the dank quality, but both are just as bitter. not too much to say. Pop of sugary sweetness, peachy notes, a little bit of orange, grapefruit bitterness, grapefruit pith. Flies off the palate pretty quickly. The hops don't really have a huge part of the palate, and then it just moves on to bitterness pretty quickly after a quote-unquote watery mouthfeel kind of issue. Yeah, so I'm gonna guess this is the Sucks, and this is the Ruination. As for which one I prefer, this one's, slightly watery for me. This one, yeah, this was a more complete beer. So I'm gonna guess this is the Ruination, and this is the Sucks. I prefer the Ruination 2.0. I don't know if it's that amazing of a quote-unquote revamp or 2.0 of the style. It might be a Ruination 1.3, if anything. It's not that mind-blowing of beer. If anything, I would recommend drinking Enjoy By. Unfortunately, if you don't get it all the time when it's released, it doesn't hit every state, then obviously you'd have to go with the Ruination 2.0 because it is, a great stone example or West Coast example of a double IPA. As for rating, I'm going to give this one a 92, and I'm going to give this one a 93. Yeah, I guess it's my preference. I'm dropping these ratings because right now I'm just consistently drinking these New England / newer age kind of double IPAs or double IPAs in general, and that's just generally what I prefer. The malt bill is different and doesn't have that sugary sweetness. These two beers are extremely bitter on my palate right now. That's just what I'm familiar with. Obviously, previously I was drinking these beers and was more familiar with them, and I'd say most people probably would say these are bitter beers, but craft beer drinkers would probably not consider these extremely bitter bombs. But for me now, West Coast IPAs, I guess, are just gotten really bitter, in my perspective of things. And so, yeah, that's my rating for these two. You can, argue about that in the comments below if you'd like. I'm always happy to discuss things. And let's find out the result. So, yeah, this one Sucks, and this one's Ruination. Yeah, pretty easy to figure out. I'm familiar with this beer, so it does have that kind of peachy note and that kind of, a fleeting malt bill, whereas this one is very much a stone beer. It has that really nice, well done malt quality. It really does show itself as a substantial and complete double IPA, and then that familiar kind of dankness. I was getting notes of Enjoy By in here. Obviously, the aroma is not as amazing, but it's still a very fine beer. So yeah, until next time, guys, cheers. Let me know about what you think about either of these beers. And what do you think about my rating about these beers? I'm sort of pushing the West Coast IPAs aside, and I don't know if that starts a war, but we'll see. Until next time, guys, cheers, later. Hey guys, and actually before I let you go, I forgot about something in the video, so I have to shoot again. And I forgot to do, when I do battle beers, with specifically beers that are very similar style or the same style, I should probably do cuvee, because that's always fun, and you have a little extra beer, so why not try that out? So we have a cuvee. 50-50. Let's see how this goes. This has worked out pretty well with some beers, so let's dig in this one. Pretty nice. Good kind of like green grassiness and dank quality from this one, but also that peach ring, candy, grapefruit orange sweetness. Very sweet. Cheers. Oh, wow. That is better than each of these beers by themselves. That is awesome. Jeez, guys. Yeah. Whereas this beer was a little watery and incomplete on the malt bill, this picks it up in that mind and that issue. This one's a little bit more fruity and candy-like, and that balances the dankness in this one. The dankness is actually, comes up at certain points in the palate, and that aggressive note of candy, fruit in the front sort of covers that up pretty well, but then the dankness and the pininess sort of comes throughout. They have overlapping different flavors of grapefruit and orange bitterness throughout. It's awesome. Yeah, each beer sort of complements the other very well. It's sort of, each beer offers, only so much on the palate, and the other one sort of fills up those valleys within the experience. If I drew a graph of the experience of drinking one of these beers, it would peak at certain points, valley at certain points, peak at certain points. And when you blend the two, I find that when you blend beers, you sort of fill those valleys, and it's more of a medium experience. And in my mind, you get a more of a complete experience. exactly happens in this beer. I'm not saying all blended beers work out well, but this is pretty awesome. If these beers were blended together and I actually had this blind, I would actually much prefer it. I'd probably give it something like a 95. So yeah, much better of a beer. Really delicious. Highly recommended. Until next time, guys, cheers, experiment, blend, and all that good stuff. Later.